Everything was going great. I had a plan, I had supplies, and I was making real progress. And then I walked into a pirate camp like I had health insurance. That was a mistake. This was one of those rare sessions where everything lined up. My son went down for a nap, and I had about an hour and a half to actually play. So instead of pacing myself, I tried to do everything at once. Quests, upgrades, crafting, basically speed running bad decisions. I started working on the quest, I need a bigger boat, which sounds exciting until you actually look at what it needs. Wood, nails, fabric, rope. At this point it stops feeling like a pirate adventure and starts feeling like I just picked up chores. So I went out to get copper, and I told myself, just copper. And then I saw fiber, so I grabbed that. Then I needed wood, so I grabbed that too. And at some point, I just stopped following a plan. If it existed, it was going in my inventory. This is how it always goes. I start focused, and then I slowly turn into a walking storage unit. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is efficient, but I don't think it is. I made it back to base, and things actually started working. Charcoal going, copper smelting, inventory somewhat organized, and this part is kind of nice. No chaos, no panic, just steady progress. This is the only time I feel like I know what I'm doing. I upgraded my backpack, and this might be one of the best upgrades so far, because more inventory space means I can make worse decisions for longer. I then put some attribute points into precision, since I'm using the rapier and pistol. If I'm going to miss, I want it to be impactful. I upgraded my tools, broke down the old ones, got some materials back, which felt like I planned ahead. I didn't, but it worked. I cooked some food, grabbed all my minor healing potions, and for once, I was actually prepared. That should have been a warning. I fast traveled to the ship, cleared out some enemies, and repaired it. And then the quest updated. We'll need 7 men, and I'm just standing here like, that seems optimistic. So I set out to rescue the crew. And honestly, this part felt great. No stress, no chaos, just sailing. I should have stayed here. The first camp was easy. Cleared it, freed the sailor, got some boots with a set bonus. I don't have the set, but I'm committed now. I checked the map, and the rest of the camps were not close. But before committing, I saw a point of interest nearby, so I made a quick detour, opened the chest, got some solid loot. Then I looked at the map again and realized I could keep sailing or respect my time. So I went back and fast traveled. That felt like growth. As I was heading towards the next camp, I found this plant, and it unlocked alchemy. I don't really fully understand how that works, but I'm pretty sure I'm a magician now. The second camp was a little rougher. I got shot in the back, but still manageable. Third camp, no damage, and at this point, I thought I had this figured out. I got to the last camp and immediately pulled everything. My health just disappeared. So I ran. Now I'm kiting, using potions, trying to look like I have a plan. I do not. I start picking them off, slowly getting control. The sergeant resets. I go back in, almost die again. Yeah, this was the health insurance moment. At this point, it's just survival. And somehow, it worked. I freed the last sailor, got a solid weapon, and finished the quest. So I head back to base, and at this point, my inventory is completely full. Like I've got chest loot, random drops, materials, just a little bit of everything. I started dumping everything into storage. And this is always the moment where I'm looking at my inventory, trying to remember where half of this stuff even came from. And at some point, I became a traveling merchant and I didn't even realize it. So I started working on alchemy. I built the table, started crafting some of the base materials, and then immediately hit the next problem. I don't have everything I need, which at this point feels less like a problem and more like a core gameplay loop. This is basically how every session goes now. I make progress, unlock something new, and then realize I need 5 other things to actually use it. And then I go get those and forget what I was doing in the first place. So I head back to the ship and finally finish the repairs. And when this thing launches, it actually feels like a moment because this ship is huge. Like, compared to what I had before, this feels like I've been promoted. I get on board, and for the first time, I feel like I'm not just surviving anymore. I'm progressing. Still making bad decisions, but now I can at least make them on a much larger ship. I then go back to my base and go out to get clay, and I do what I've been doing. I run all the way across the map to the spot that I know has clay, and then I come back and realize there's clay right next to my base, like right next to it. I've made this trip multiple times. I don't know how I missed it, but I feel like the game knew and just let it happen. So I build the shipwright's workshop and start crafting upgrades for the ship. Cannons, boarding gear, hull upgrades, And now for the first time, this actually feels like a real setup. Like, I'm not just running around anymore. I've got a ship with actual upgrades that I understand, mostly. I get everything equipped, and at this point, things are finally starting to come together. I got better gear, a real ship, and something that kind of resembles a plan. Still, not a good plan, but a plan. And this is usually where I'd keep going. But my son woke up. Perfect timing. So that's where I had to stop, right when everything was starting to work. And honestly, that's how these sessions kind of go. You just start building momentum, and then real life shows up. But at least this time, I made some actual progress. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you after bedtime.